All right, Paul. Glad to be back. Are you glad to be back?
I'm glad to be here.
Just glad to be here. Anywhere?
Anywhere but work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. I thought you were going to expound on that.
Nah, I'm pretty happy. I don't mind being at work actually.
Yeah. Me either. Sometimes. Just depends on the day.
Good
Yeah.
times.
All right. Welcome everybody. Welcome back into another edition of Cash and Tickets. This is week 6 of college football. Cash and Tickets brought to you by Poolside Bets. That's me, Franklin Johnson, and my partner over here, Paul Robertson. So before we get started, like we always do, we'll talk about what happened last week or what didn't happen, what went good, what went bad, and we'll bring up the recap of last week's picks. So first thing, Paul, I don't know if my demeanor or I don't know if my actions were probably welcomed by everyone, but what a game last Saturday night between the Ole Miss Rebels and the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, it got squirrely there for a minute.
Instant classic. That thing was amazing. It's so many points, and both offenses really just up and down the field. And it was amazing that it came down to defense at the end.
I got a sneaking suspicion that Ole Miss team is good, but all they got to do is put it both sides together at one time.
Yeah, the offense got healthy, and that was the biggest thing. Trey Harris looked healthy. Pre-scoring second game in, he looked like he was picking everything up well. Boy, and did he help the run game. Quinshon Judkins finally had a big night, so that was good to see. Needed every damn point though, because LSU was matching them.
177 yards rushing for Quinshon. Finally broke out. 414 yards passing for Jay Daniels.
Yeah,
I don't know what he had. I was looking at the box scores.
Yeah, I mean, and LSU has got one of the best offenses in the country, but still, it's a little disheartening to see your defense give up that many points and that many yards.
Yeah, we got to put it together, boys. Figure it out, man. If we can get A&M to beat Bama, and then we can come around there and beat A&M.
That's right.
I mean, I know there's Georgia out there, and that's going to cause a little stir, but.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to bring up, like through 5 weeks, we haven't seen any carnage, as far as the top teams are concerned. We haven't had that weekend where it's like, oh my goodness, you get chaos. We just haven't had it yet. Oregon State and Washington State squared off, but the home team won there. I mean, that wasn't a huge upset.
Yeah, you didn't have that Vanderbilt beating.
No, I mean, you just had, and Ole Miss won, but I mean, as far as the betting line's concerned, that wasn't a big upset. I mean, what was it, 2.5 at kick? So I get it. LSU was ranked, and a lot of people liked them, but that didn't seem like such a huge upset. So that's kind of where my head was at going into this week, because we got some top teams matching up, and that things that could start to sort out the SEC West. Maybe even in the Pac-12, you got some teams going against each other could cause some trouble there. So maybe we'll finally get that chaotic weekend as we move forward here in college football.
Yeah, that I was worried about last week too. That USC Colorado early kick. I was kind of curious to see how that affected the over under, and it
didn't affect the scoring much.
And kudos to Colorado for making a comeback there. That just tells me USC is going to get their brains beat in.
Yeah, they're going to lose 2 or 3 games in my opinion.
They're not beating Oregon. They're not beating Utah. They're not beating Washington State. They're not beating Oregon State. They may lose another one. I have to look at their schedule, but
what's crazy is as this thing is played out, I kind of still thought I never thought USC was one of the top. I knew they were top 3 teams in the Pac-12, but now I've kind of bumped them down.
No,
and I've been hyping up the Washington and the Oregon State train.
That's another one. Washington, they're not beating Washington,
but through these 5 weeks. Honestly, I think the best team in the Pac-12 is the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah,
I didn't know their defense was going to be that good, and Bo Nix is having a hell of a season.
Yeah, they're good. Well, there's 6 teams probably better than
USC.
Than USC, in my opinion.
Because you saw Washington struggled with Arizona last week.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And Oregon State, of course, has a loss. Washington State is good at home. So we don't. I mean, until they're going to play, so we'll see how it all. But yeah, I think moving forward, look to me, power rankings, I'd have Oregon up top just because they can do it on both sides of the football.
Yeah, they're built like a SEC school.
Of course, this week we got the Red River rivalry with
what?
yeah,
The-
Oklahoma
They still
and
play
Texas.
They still play that thing in a Cotton Bowl.
They typically play it off site, right? They haven't
I
moved
think it's
to
in the Cotton Bowl. 'Cause I
yeah.
always remember the fans are divided and whatnot.
Now, did they move? Are they still in the old Cotton Bowl, or they
Oh, yeah.
moved that to Arlington
Looks like
to the big stadium?
No, I
where the
think
Cowboys
I think
play.
it's still where the state fair is. Like the original.
So it's the old stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Well,
looks-
let's take a look
It
here.
looks terrible.
They kick it off at 11 o'clock, right? I believe.
They usually do. Game day's going to be there.
Oklahoma and Texas, 11 a.m.
Venables.
Yeah, it's at the old Cotton Bowl still.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I have nothing on that game, by the way.
I mean, you don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
all signs point to Oklahoma being way better than they were.
Yeah, I mean, I was not. I was very off of that Venables train, but they seem to be
They got it worked out.
getting it going.
I think Bob Stoops stopped by for a little time.
You think so?
No.
Well, I didn't put much credence in that into what was left there, because Lincoln Riley was there, and it's obvious he cares nothing about defense, and so Venables comes in and he had to deal with what he had to deal with last year,
Had to
and it
get-
looks like they've turned the corner on the defensive side.
I had to get the Jimmys and Joes in there. One game I kind of want to talk about from last week before we get moving on is the Notre Dame Duke game. Duke is
What a game!
better. Mike Elko, who just kind of just snuck by me altogether. To do what he's done at Duke, and I know they lost and all that, but
Well, didn't they have the lead late, and then Notre Dame converted like a 4th and long, and then got the winning touchdown?
and I think Leonard got hurt
He
late.
did. He's out at least 3 or 4 weeks. High ankle sprain. That sucks for the Blue Devils.
That team is really really good. To Mike Elko's credit, I don't like. Who knew the Duke?
I mean, and there's going to be some big programs that are going to change coaches this year. I bet his door gets knocked on a whole bunch of times in the offseason
Yep.
for what he's done there.
Mhm.
What other game did we have last week of note? Clemson put it on Syracuse. I did not
See,
see that coming.
No, I don't think. Look, I want to talk a little more about it later.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it's in our recap, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's in our recap and it's in our and I'm back on them this week.
Yeah, I noticed.
I watched that game, 31-14's final score there. Clemson got everything they could possibly get to win that ball game. They nothing went right for Syracuse. They could not do. They got
The opening drive, the fumble that shouldn't have been a fumble.
It was 14-0. No targeting call on an obvious targeting. They just didn't have any. I don't want to call it help. I mean, because you don't want the referees to help you. You just want it to fairly called game.
Yeah.
And I don't think they got it. I'm not holding it against Syracuse. They're going to have to beat me twice before I put them
Get
on
off
the
of
board.
that, put 'em on the board.
I know a team that's going to go on the board though is in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
There's 2 teams in college I'm going back to the well on that's burnt me. That's Syracuse and Toledo, but we'll see. But that Pittsburgh Steelers team is on the board.
That's a tough. C.J. Stroud looks pretty good there in Houston. D'Amico Ryans is doing a great job coaching that team up. I knew he would. I loved him at the 49ers. I hate we lost him. And maybe it's just coaching against the Steelers that make you look. I don't know. Is that it, Paul, or is it
We have way too much talent on both sides of football
to look like that?
To look as bad as they do. I'm so sick of. I know I've said this last week. Of Tomlin coming out saying is the players got to play better. We got to be
Execution.
tougher.
Yeah.
Watch the freaking film, Tomlin. What are they supposed to do?
I don't know what Canada's got on that whole.
What-
I mean, we talked about this last year. I don't know what kind of stranglehold he's got on that organization.
He has held that thing hostage for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Anybody would be better. Anybody.
I'm with you. My wife was screaming at the TV last week to fire Canada. I don't, it's.
The whole state of Pennsylvania is saying it, and they're like, well, that's just because our fans are fat and happy and spoiled. And I'm like, no, they know a trashy ass product when they see it.
Yeah, at some point you gotta You got to let go.
Anyways, I'm not going to. I know we're supposed to be doing other things here, but fire Matt Canada yesterday.
I'm with you. Hey, look, it was funny last week during my 49ers game. A bunch of Facebook posts
y'all got a big one.
And tweets got brought back up from last year. Right after the trade for Christian McCaffrey was made, there was a bunch of tweets saying they're going to regret this trade. This trade isn't going to work out. They're going to hate that they did this. I mean, you just kept after McCaffrey's 4-touchdown performance last week. That kid is incredible, and now he's in an offense that lets him work. I mean, Shanahan puts him all over the field.
Yeah, Shanahan's over there just dialing shit up in the grass.
He's got to feel like a kid on the playground. Playing with the biggest kids, sixth graders against first graders out there most games.
Is there not another Mike Shanahan protege out there that needs a job?
That needs a job. Yeah, does he have children? How old's the kid? Is he ready yet?
I don't care. Yeah, let's give him a controller. Run what the TV says.
I know, and I hate to get. I think I mentioned it last week. Is basically Super Bowl or bust with this amount of talent that they've amassed. And I hate to get my hopes up, but it's been fun to watch so far. I mean, they're just doing it. The defense needs some tightening of the screws. We do miss D'Amico Ryans, that's true, but the talent's there.
Y'all bet not lose Sunday night.
Big one Sunday night against the Cowboys.
It'll be hard on me at work.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to do my best. I'll be there rooting them on, so I'll do what I can do. I don't. Neither team has played anybody that much. We have one common opponent. They lost. We won. So we'll see what happens. They keep Brock Purdy clean. I like our chances. Dak will throw one to us at some point. He always does. He'll Dak at some point. So we'll see what happens there. I don't remember any bigger. I saw you got the scores up. The big matchups in the college that we have forgotten to talk about from last week?
Not like big.
You had Georgia, Auburn, and that game got weird.
Yeah, there were some interesting games. I'd say. A&M, Arkansas. Arkansas is not as.
They're in trouble. Sam Pittman's in trouble.
Kentucky, Florida. Kentucky took Florida to the woodshed.
Didn't they? Ray Davis made them his bitch.
And then they put them in timeout. And then they didn't feed them.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they didn't call a cab for them home.
Did not call a cab for them home at all.
Tennessee just took South Carolina to the woodshed. State and Alabama. The state just. Ugh. We already talked about Notre Dame, Duke. That game. Nobody cares about that game. Texas poor Kansas got their hell beat out of them.
Yeah, and it sucks that Daniels is still dealing with back trouble. You don't know week to week if he's going to be able to play. His back tightens up, and they tried to go, and then they couldn't, so Mean had to come in as the backup. And, they were playing well early in that game, but then Texas just leaned on them, and it was just too much.
Yeah. Holding Kansas to 14 points. I don't care if Bean's in there or whoever's in there. That's a feat.
That coach is going to be talked to too. He's done a great job in
Leopold?
Kansas. Yeah, he's done a great job there. All right, so you want to go ahead and get into last week's picks?
Sure.
All right. Let's pull up the old recap here. There we are.
We're pretty pedestrian last week.
Yeah, it was 50% on my side. I go 3-3, and they came out the gate screaming. Missouri kind of played with their food a little bit, but they got a late touchdown and then a stop. Speaking of a team that has not getting much pub, Missouri Tigers. I think I talked about them in our SEC preview. They've got big time talent on the defensive side of the ball, but now the offense is starting to click. Luther Burden is the best wide receiver in the SEC. He's incredible. He's so much fun to watch. So watch out for him this weekend when the 5-0 Missouri Tigers host the LSU Tigers. That ought to be a good game. A lot of points in that game.
Wouldn't hurt my feelings to see LSU lose again.
Yeah. So and then the easiest one on my board, the easiest two. Of course, I was starting to call myself the Sun Belt savant until one of them lost. But Texas State. Easy cover over Southern Miss, who can't stop anybody. Texas State put up a 50-burger on Southern Miss, covered easily. James Madison, probably the best team in that division. Troy's probably number 2. because they have had head-to-head, and James Madison won 16-14, but they beat Southern Alabama easily last week.
Well, that team hasn't performed like we thought.
No,
they
I
would.
thought the Jaguars were going to be better. They're just they just haven't gotten it done on offense, and the defense has regressed a little.
UTSA hadn't really showed out.
Well, UTSA, Frank Harris has been hurt all year, and that's the reason they haven't played well.
I guess. So Tulsa -3.5 was an easy win for me last week. Notre Dame Duke under was no sweat.
Yeah, we both loved that one.
Q's +7. I watched the game. I thought the game could have been. It just did. It's not like Clemson dominated them. I know the scoreboard said what it said, but I'm going to give them another chance this week. If they beat me this week, then I'll just be like, look, whatever.
The easiest one on your board.
Air Force
the Falcons.
I got to look. Load the wagon. Don't worry about the mule.
They're incredible. They're my favorite team on the board right now.
I was like, are they playing this week? Because if they are, I'm going to get my pick in now before Franklin does.
I did too. I was thinking the same thing.
I don't give a shit if it's 50.
If it's Air Force -50, bank it. We're taking that to the bank. It's funny. We had a girl, Megan, out there watching the games with us, and she got worried with Air Force was only up, 3 at the half. It's like, don't worry.
That's fine.
The Falcons are going to lean in the second half. And of course, what'd they win by 30-something? It was easy.
They went in the locker room, knocked out about 2,000 push-ups, came out and beat the shit out of them.
No doubt.
Marshall -14. They gave up 339 rushing yards. You can't beat
to
anybody
Old
that way.
Dominion.
That I didn't see that happening. So they won by 7, and they still won the ball game.
Yeah, and still won it.
So I don't know what that's. I guess their offense can do whatever they want. Defense, I don't know, just takes time out. It's kind of like Larry Bird talking about playing Dan Patrick in basketball. He said, "What do you think the score to 10 would be?" He said, 10-9. He goes, "Why 10-9?" He said, "Because when you get it on offense, I'm just going to sit down and let you score.
And let you. I'm
not going to guard you. I'm too
Why
old.
would I do that? I'm telling you."
So Louisiana +11. We just talked about this before we got on air here. Too many turnovers. +11 is a weird number to push on.
And
hell?
And we watched that. We watched that entire game, and they had a lead at half.
No. So I don't know.
I think that freshman QB got rattled in the second half. Minnesota must have really started bringing some pressure on him or something.
Yeah. I was curious to see how he did because he's so talented and his numbers are great. You can see why they like him, but he's going to need a little bringing along. But it's okay.
Yeah,
we all do.
So I'll finish up my 3. Of course, after the 3 early dubs, feeling really good. And then the state of Georgia just stuck it right in. I couldn't even walk for the last time. The entire state may go on the board here. Georgia State could do nothing against Troy. Maybe I just was riding their 4-0 train there, but Troy's still really good on defense. They win 27-7 over Georgia State. And they were never in that ball game. From kick to end, and just never in it. Georgia just I could not believe they gave up 20 points to Auburn. Of course, there's Hugh Freeze. It was funny. He took over play calling last week.
We're not going to play.
And then they decided to score.
We're playing for the love, not hate, Franklin.
I remember that speech well. Don't worry.
He gave it again at Auburn.
I know. Come on, man. So, yeah, Georgia doesn't cover. And then Washington just played with their food all night against a backup quarterback for Arizona Wildcats. Arizona could still score. So that gives me a little pause on the Washington defense. Michael Penix still did his thing. So I'd still like that team a lot. But they were never covering by 20 when we got to the halftime. And I was like, well, that thing's over. They're not winning by 20. I think they won 27-20 or – it was like a 7-point game, I believe.
I didn't see that score till Sunday morning. I was like, what?
I didn't either, but I knew it wasn't getting there. There was no way we were seeing the end of that game after the LSU Ole Miss game, and then we had the one worried about the Air Force. Well, nobody can see me talking. I have lost connection, but I'll be back. There we go. We're back. We're back. So anyway, of course, the charity parlay, that teaser, it went to crap when Georgia didn't do anything. They won by 7, and I had them at 8 in which other game? Kansas, even at 22.5, they couldn't get that cover because what was it, 41-14?
Yeah, they got the hell beat out of them.
So another week, another charity play. down the tube. We're going to try to get back in there this week.
You'd think doing good things would get rewarded, but
I would
nope.
think, we tried.
It's a sticky world. It's a cruel world out there.
I don't know what we got to do to make that thing get there. But we're going to keep throwing darts at it.
Yeah, we'll keep trying.
We may only have $50 at the end to give to our charity of choice. We'll just go to the care station and say, "Here's $50. Go buy some dog food." I don't.
We may just have to have a charity craps night and go up to the casino and roll them bones.
Roll them bones. See if we can get them some money. That's right. All right. So you want to move into this week's picks, or anything you want to talk about before we get to show in the picks, Paul? Anything to expound on here with our records?
Oh no, just not on that end. There's a few games out there that I don't think we're going to talk. That we didn't bet or whatever.
Yeah, well, there's some big games. I don't think either one of us picked the Oklahoma-Texas game.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see how Oklahoma responds to. Last year they took it. They took
on
it,
the chin.
They took it in the chin, the ear, everywhere.
Wherever there was a place to take it,
Yeah,
they took it. They're still black and blue from that game.
Can they win? Yes.
Will they?
5 is
man.
awful. 5 is awful short to me. Even though Oklahoma's played, they've done what they've done this year. I mean,
Yeah, that
but
line's come down.
That line is still. It doesn't seem like a lot for Texas. Like my gut says, don't worry about the smoke and mirrors. Take Texas.
Take Texas.
5.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at too. I don't. They beat them down last year, and so they've got that mental edge on them.
No.
But the difference with college football now is you can't go year to year because used to you could go year to year and players remember things. The problem with college football now is the players change every year with the transfer portal and people moving around. The players you have on your team now, hell, they don't remember that game because they didn't play in that game last year. You know what I mean? There's a few. There's some. So I don't know. Obviously, it's still going to be a big game, but there's going to be no home field advantage because they packed that thing, Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah, split on the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Oklahoma, they beat SMU, which is down. Arkansas State won the game that made Butch Jones cry.
That was before they went to the freshmen. Arkansas State's turned it around with the freshman QB.
Beat Tulsa at Tulsa pretty sound. Beat Cincinnati at Cincinnati 20-6. Beat Iowa State, which doesn't tell me nothing.
No, Iowa State's bad.
So the competition, I mean,
Texas has been tested. Oklahoma's not.
Yeah, that right. I still like that Rice team. Bama, beat Bama. Wyoming's a well-coached team. Beat them 31-10. Beat Baylor, I don't know what the hell's going on with Baylor.
I think they got their quarterback back. I think Shaping came back last week, and they got that win over Central Florida. What a comeback in that game! Yeah. Central Florida's up like 20-something going in the fourth quarter, and lost.
I don't know. Anyway, so just if I was going to bet it, I wouldn't. But if I had this gun to my head, it would be Texas.
I would lean Texas.
It would Texas -5.
I would too. Big matchup in the Big Ten. Maryland travels, take on the Ohio State Buckeyes, and that line is massive.
I looked all over that thing.
I tried to find anything to make me take, and every time I've bet Maryland this year, they've been an easy cover for me.
Yeah, I was staring that thing right in its soul.
And 20 points, man. Even if they don't score in the first half, I feel like they can cover this line because they'll get points late.
Yeah,
I know what people are saying. Maryland's played nobody with a pulse that has any good, or nobody that has a good quarterback. So we don't know what their defense is.
Well, they're not going to play defense. So let's just get that straight out of the
just
jump.
Right out of the jump.
They're not gonna go out there and shut nobody down. So if that's your angle, no. But I'm like you though; they can score with anybody.
Yeah, I don't think Ohio State's going to keep them out of the end zone.
And I'm not. Ohio State would trip themselves up a couple times too.
Yep.
But I didn't bet it. But I wouldn't hate somebody going out there and taking that. It was 18 or something.
It's 20 now.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's moved up. People are all over.
Okay, I'm curious. I'm curious.
I mean, I know Vegas got to put the line there, and obviously it's it's screaming trap because Vegas puts the line there, begging you to take Maryland and the points. So I don't know. That's why I just like I can't. I just don't know. And I love the Terps. It's plus 20. Whew.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that game does.
I guarantee you, I'm gonna have a teaser. Saturday's gonna have the Terps in at plus 26. It may be 21 by Saturday, 22.
Kentucky, Georgia. Did either one of us bet that?
I did.
Okay. What about Notre Dame, Louisville?
No, I just couldn't find an angle there.
I like Louisville. Satterfield there. Not Satterfield.
And what are they getting?
That gummit.
5 or 6 points?
They're getting 6.5. Oh, the guy that played quarterback there. Brian Brom. Or
Jeff Brom.
Jeff Brom.
Yeah, he's the new head coach there.
Yeah, he's done well there. I don't know. Notre Dame seems to be in a matchup every week.
Yeah, they are. They got teams coming, man. They said they got to play USC this year.
Good for them. I mean, good for them.
At least they schedule, man.
Yeah, good for them. Way to go, Notre Dame. You know, way to go.
I mean, other than Navy, but that's a game they play every year.
Maybe.
So I didn't have anything on that game, Paul. Do you have did you have an angle on that game? Anything?
No.
Just don't think Louisville's very good on defense. I know they can score a little bit. I'm just scared that Notre Dame's going to score late and just lean on them in the fourth quarter and put this thing to bed.
I know Louisville's talented on offense. I don't think they can do what they do against this defense.
I don't either. I mean, Notre Dame has proven they're really good on defense. I mean, they just got through playing Ohio State, and say what you want, but Duke's a good team. Riley Leonard's a good quarterback, and they held both schools to low point totals.
Louisville's schedule is nothing. Their toughest opponent's been NC State. They beat them 13-10.
Yeah.
So they're about to get tested and then it's less than a touchdown. Yeesh. All right, yeah, that's a no play for me. That's a no for me, dog.
All right, so let's talk about a game that I think is going to be interesting. Now we'll start. Which game is played first? All right, here's one. I'm curious to get your thoughts on. We mentioned it. The two Tigers. LSU travels to Columbia, Missouri, to take on the undefeated Missouri Tigers. That line is only 4. Can LSU stop them?
Give me the nerd.
Give
me the best coach on the field that day.
I think so too, right? I think Drinkwitz could outcoach him. And I think Missouri can get stops where Ole Miss could not. Missouri's not going to have to score as much as Ole Miss did. Yeah. They've got NFL talent on that defense.
What is that line?
4.
Missouri. Go out there and beat the hell out of them.
I think they can.
Beat the hell out of them.
I think they can too. I think most people are thinking LSU's going to bounce back here. I don't think they trust Missouri. I think they have a chance. I'm not betting it with your money.
What's disappointing is that I talk so much shit about Brian Kelly. Now my phone sends me stuff like randomly on Facebook.
Brian Kelly stuff.
So his post game practice report shows up today. I'm like, what?
Of course it did.
So Brian comes up to the thing. They go, it's raining, Coach. He says, it's raining? I'll be damned.
And so you get a report about it?
Yeah, so he's like, he said, we practiced. We worked on the things we need to work on. We tried to get sharper where we need to get sharper. Any questions? I mean, what a guy.
What a guy.
What a freaking guy.
So funny. I think I sent you the link to the
jackass.
It's a whiskey and it's called Whiskey and Wine post game show with
Liberty's up 7-0. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Matt Moscano and T-Bob Hebert. His dad was Bobby Hebert. Yeah. He played QB for that dude. Just the opening 2 minutes, I think he dropped the F-bomb at least 20 times.
They would have never allowed me to do that. What he did.
So if we could do that, but you and I would never be. I don't think we'd have if we had tried to do that after the LSU game, our faculties would not have been. There wouldn't have had to.
Sam Houston State just tied it up 7-7.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, didn't take long.
Wasn't Liberty like minus 18?
I don't know.
I believe so. I think that line was 18 tonight. So that thing tickled, but they pretty much feel that LSU defense is not I mean, they just don't have the talent to
I
be
knew
fixed.
I knew they were weak on the back end. That's where they
Yeah.
could be had.
But did you know it was that bad? Dart had wide receivers
No,
wide
they're
open.
not. That's not every report I've heard. Even in preseason, was the back end is not. They're not DBU anymore.
No.
I don't know what Brian Kelly went in there and he took something out of the mix and put something in.
And
I don't know what he did.
the difference is Harold Perkins seems to be in a sophomore slump. He's not the Harold Perkins we saw last year. And Mason Smith is back on the D line, but I don't know that he's completely healthy. He's not playing to the level that he's played to before.
Yeah. Well, you know what to stop a great defensive lineman from playing hard as he possibly can?
What's that?
Long touchdowns.
Long touch. Yeah. True.
They get tired of giving all they got just to watch some jackass on the back end get burnt like a piece of toast.
And it happened all game long.
And they couldn't tackle. It looked like us
No,
in
they couldn't tackle.
2005 Rebels or 15 Rebels, whatever year
The
that
crime
was.
dog defense.
Gee, they weren't even in the TV screen half
That's
the
the
time.
thing. Like now, our defense, we actually see people on the screen. That one Watkins touchdown, there was nobody in the picture when Jordan caught that ball and went to the end zone. That's insane.
Yeah.
And those wide receivers for LSU are incredible. They made that Brian Thomas Jr. made 3 touchdown catches that were one of them wasn't a touchdown. But I digress. I mean, they were incredible. And Daniels was good all night.
I will be pulling for Missouri. So yeah, let's go Mizzou.
So the big game that I think can stir up the SEC West, the Alabama Crimson Tide,
I know where I'm gonna be pulling for.
head to College Station.
Yeah,
Is that-
it's in Aggie Land. As they
Yeah,
call
isn't
it.
that College Station?
Yeah.
The name of that town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, take on the 12th man in the Texas A&M Aggies. Can Bobby Petrino dial it up and beat? Can his offense beat that Alabama? They have the best defense. They have the best defense in the SEC. It's even better in Georgia, in my opinion.
Who?
Bama.
Okay. All right.
Watch them on the field. It's different. A&M's front is really, really good.
Yeah.
They're not as great in the back end as they've been before. We know what everybody else's defense is. Not great. Bama can stop you, but I think that Max Johnson kid, he can work in the confines of that Petrino offense. I think they're gonna be able to score enough to beat Bama.
Yeah, I think the only thing Max Johnson should have to do here is just not blow it.
Yeah, because here's the thing: Bama's going to have to run it, and the strength of A&M's defense is their front seven. They'll be able to stop the run if they can keep Milroe from using his legs
No.
and hitting a big play over the top. I think A&M's got a big chance here.
Yeah.
Of course, we need it as Rebel fans. We want it, so you know where our rooting interest. I think that's probably why both of us didn't pick this game. I like A&M to win, not just heart. I like them.
I didn't pick it because I don't trust either team.
Really,
I don't trust. I mean, I don't trust Bama for sure.
I don't trust their offense. Their
I don't-
defense is
and
really good
I will never trust Jimbo Fisher.
to screw it up. I know it. I get it, but so far he's let Petrino coach that offense. So far.
I mean, they're at home. It's pretty much even money. So
Yeah, it's the line is 1. So if you like it somewhere, just you take A&M to win outright. But you may even still have to pay juice. The money line's probably not even plus money. It may be even, or maybe minus 105.
look real quick, but anyways, we can. There's some.
Well, we'll hit. So Arkansas comes to Ole Miss. What do you think? You think Arkansas's in trouble? Sam Pittman's in trouble?
I don't. The only thing about that is the same way I've always said. When Arkansas and Ole Miss get together, it gets weird.
Yeah, I think. But I think Arkansas's in trouble. They've already got what, 2 losses or 3?
Yeah, now I understand what you're saying. I'm just. I just hope we find some balance on defense. The O-line still keeps playing good. Hope we put a offense and defensive performance on the field that is what we are.
The only
Put it
thing
together.
the one thing that scares me is that I'm not sure J.J. Pegues is going to be able to play this weekend. I heard he might be in a boot. Our best D lineman, by the way, JJ. Just
Yeah,
only the best one.
I don't know. I'm gonna be watching, hoping we win. I don't care how about they win by one. I'm happy.
Win's a win.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be the guy that's upset about a SEC victory. So, but I'm not gonna say that it's a sure lock that we win. That crowd last Saturday night on a 5:30 kick or 5 o'clock kick was insane.
Yeah.
Now you give them another hour.
Now they get another hour. Yeah. And you know that place is going to be packed, ready to go because they just come off the big win. Now Arkansas's coming in. You know, that game gets crazy.
Yep.
KJ Jefferson's from Mississippi, played at North Panola. So he always gives his best effort against a team that didn't take him as a recruit. So I think Rocket Sanders is going to be healthy. So the defense is going to have to get some stops. I don't know that offense is going to be stopped. So I think Ole Miss can put up as many points as they need to.
Here we go.
All right. So let's take a look.
Sweet nectar.
Let's see where we're going this week. First, we'll just mention poolside bets now after week 0 and 5 weeks. It's so stupid. It should just be we should be going into week 7, but I don't make the rules of what they call everything. But anyway, through week 0 in week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are now 31, 25, and 2 as a team, Paul.
We're kind of like Ole Miss. We got to get it together.
Yeah,
at the same time.
That's right, at the same time. And we haven't been. Last week wasn't too bad. We haven't both had that 5-1, 4-2, or 6-0, 5-1 week. So we're trying to do better. I'm now 17-12 on the year. Paul is 14, 13, and 2. You see the records there on the screen. So here's our picks. They're up right there on the screen, ready to go. Paul, I'll start this week since you started last week.
Okay.
So I'm going to Georgia and Kentucky. What time is that game played? I don't think I have mine in time order. I think I just looked at them, and that's a 6 o'clock kick in Athens, Georgia. Look, here's the thing. Look at these rankings. Kentucky ranked 16th in defense. Georgia 15th. Georgia's offense, I don't know how. Maybe they're just playing bad teams. Is 18th, whatever. Kentucky is 9th in offense. And I see a lot of people thinking this is where Georgia bounces back after that close game against Auburn. I just don't get it. That defense is not as good as it has been before. They lost 4 or 5 NFL talents. You don't just replace them. That was proven last week. Hugh Freeze dialed up a really good plan with a bad offense and put up 20 points. They used 2 quarterbacks, Peyton Thorne and Robbie Ashford. And they couldn't throw the football, so they just found ways to scheme up gadget plays and go get it.
Yep.
And kept that game in the balance until Brock Bowers basically defeated Auburn. Kentucky, look, I know they say they haven't played anybody, okay? But here's the thing. You can't spend 2 or 3 weeks telling me that Florida is pretty decent because they beat Tennessee and they played Utah close, which was the talking points for Florida after they got that big win. And then Kentucky takes Florida to the woodshed, and then you say, well, they haven't played anybody. So which is it? Is Florida any good or are they not any good? Because Kentucky beat the everlasting shit out of Florida last week. I mean, it wasn't close. Ray Davis put up, 200-something yards on them on the ground?
He did what he wanted to.
And Devin Leary is not a bad quarterback. They said, well, he's not getting it done in the air. He hasn't had to.
No, he's fine.
The kid can play. So, yeah, I know. And here's another stat for you. Kentucky's 4-0 in this game against the spread the last 4 years.
No. And you know who hadn't covered the spread all year?
Georgia. So, look, I get it.
Nah, I'm with
They think, that's too many points, so it's got to be a trap. Whatever. I think Kentucky keeps this thing close. I don't care where this game's played. I don't care who's playing it. I think they have a shot to win this game, honestly.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings. Let's throw this thing into a tizzy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think this may be that chaos weekend that I mentioned earlier, and I'm betting on it. So I give me the Kentucky Wildcats, Ray Davis, Devin Leary. Mark Stoops has been coaching his ass off there, and I think he's got a plan against, good Lord, what's his name over there?
What? I was looking at my notes.
What's his name? What's the head coach? Yeah, Kirby Smart. I couldn't get it.
I know what you were doing.
Well, I couldn't. I had a Anyway, there's two bets I like here. I love Kentucky plus 14.5. That's going to be one of my plays. But another play, I'm just going to, if y'all want a piece, Kentucky team total over 16.5. Not on the screen, but that's if you're looking for another play, I'd give out that Kentucky team total over 16.5. I think this is going to be a 30-27 game. I think there's going to be points. I don't know why. I think it's 30-27. I'm not going to tell you who's winning that game. Either way, that's a cover, and Kentucky gets over.
Might be 7-3.
Could be that as well. Don't see it.
I kid. My first pick, I'm going back to the well with Syracuse. I like this team. I think last week they got off to a bad start. They didn't, like I said, a couple bad calls, turnovers, and they just couldn't ever get going. Clemson got on top of them, and Clemson did what they're going to do. They leaned on them. I'm not going to hold it against Syracuse, so you're going to give me Syracuse getting over a touchdown. I know it's at North Carolina. I get it. But Syracuse's defense is legit. I mean, they are legit. And I know that UNC is going to be able to throw it all over the field, but I feel like Syracuse can hold them. It should be close late. It shouldn't be more than 3 points. I don't hate North Carolina being a -3 favorite here at home, but over a touchdown is too much for me. So give me Syracuse +8.
So you don't trust Drake May over Garrett Schrader? You just think it's too many points.
I think it's too many points. Drake May is the better quarterback.
Yeah.
But I don't see. I think a touchdown is just too much. That Syracuse defense will make stops. I'm not saying that they're not going to. Yeah, they're not going to get. That North Carolina's not going to go over 30. I'm just saying that Cuse defense is better than what they showed.
They'll also be able to score against North Carolina.
Yeah. So
Clemson's defense is pretty good.
I think anything under a touchdown here, I would have probably stayed away. But you're gonna give me over a touchdown, and let's get it.
All right. Well, I'll go to my next one, and what's funny is I got it wrong on the screen. I totally typed it in. I made I had two decisions here. I had two ways to go on this game, and I said it to you when I was typing it in, and literally typed in the wrong play. But same game, Old Dominion travels to take on Southern Miss Eagles in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, at 6 o'clock Saturday evening. I don't hate Old Dominion to win this game outright, so I +1.5 was gonna be one of my plays, but I actually made the decision to go Old Dominion USM over 58. So that should say Old Dominion Southern Miss over 58 is the actual pick I'm putting out for poolside bets. I put it wrong. So you have to listen to the podcast, not just scroll to the end and look at the picks.
Who do we fire for that? What production?
Me, I guess.
That's awkward,
isn't it? That's gonna be weird.
Fired your damn self.
Yeah. Here's the thing: Southern Miss's defense is ranked 132nd out of 133. Old Dominion's defense is 102 out of 133.
That's not good.
There's going to be points scored in this game.
Not
Two
good.
bad teams. And so sometimes you see low. I just don't think that's going to be the case. I think Old Dominion is going to win this game 44-22, something like that. 26. They may score. USM may score 30. It may be 42-30. I don't know where 42 came from, but anyway, 42-30. That's an easy cover on the over. So I know, again, on the screen it says Old Dominion +1.5, but I got Old Dominion Southern Miss over 58 simply because both defenses are terrible. And the offenses aren't that bad. Old Dominion's 49th in offense in the country.
I like how you dug down deep and found that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to Old Dominion Southern Miss. That's right.
Yeah, you threw away a lot of little fish to get to that one.
So that's my second play there.
I did it too. My second play is 2 o'clock Pac-12 Network, Washington at UCLA, over 59 points. The Cougars of Washington State probably could almost get there on their own. The Cam Ward's amazing.
Yeah,
the guy
quarterback.
they're gonna score points. Last year, these two teams got together, combined for 130 points.
That's a lot.
That is over double what they're asking. Is I mean they may get there
130 was it? Would they go like?
It was 60 something to 60 something.
Holy
it was
hell!
up there. So I like another Pac-12 shootout here between these two teams. I don't like the damn Pac-12 defense stuff's going on. It's good for their conference and it's good for them making the playoffs and all that. But I used to love watching the Pac-12 shootouts. It was always fun.
Yeah.
Now they want to get up there and run into each other.
They want to play defense. I know
Stupid.
what is going on here.
So yeah, give me. I know Dante Moore still. They're trying to get him going freshman for UCLA. I think they can get enough offense built up here. You give me. If Washington State can get to 30, if you think they can score 30 points against UCLA, hell yes, this thing's going over.
They'll give up some points too.
This thing's going over.
So, oh, you got something else? Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off there.
No, just no fun. The Pac-12's playing defense.
I know. Let's get some points.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with the same game here. Look, everything Paul just said is right. Washington's number 8 in scoring offense, and they're number 3 in third down conversion on offense. Now, you look at the UCLA side, their defense is top 11 in most of those categories. I mean, their defense has played really well. But the one thing you'll notice if you take a look at their schedule, they haven't played any good quarterbacks.
Nah.
I mean, so they played UCLA. I mean, they played Utah. Yeah. Cam Rising wasn't the quarterback.
Yeah, what Chip Kelly defense you ever comes to mind?
Yeah. So I just think their defensive ranking has more to do with who they've played up to this point. And here's the thing: is what I've mentioned. I've said it every podcast. I'll keep saying it. I'm gonna say it again because it works more times than not. 3.5 and under, and this line's 3.5. Give me the better quarterback. I'm going to take Cameron Ward over the freshman. Now, don't get me wrong. The freshman over there at UCLA is good, and there's a reason he's starting. But he ain't Cam Ward.
No.
And he ain't there yet, that's for sure. And he may get there, but give me the experienced quarterback against the freshman here. I think Washington State wins it outright, but they got to prove it on the road. They're much better in Pullman. But I'm going to take a Washington State in a obviously, me and Paul wants a big scoring game. Washington State 35, UCLA 32. That's a cover for both of us.
And if you've never watched Cam Ward play quarterback,
do it this time.
Go watch. The guy is really fun to watch. Guy could throw it in a damn bucket from 400 yards. Jesus,
he's really good.
All right, so my next pick is going to be, I'm back to the well, kind of like with the Q's here, is Toledo minus 19. They burnt me once this year. I'm giving one more chance before I put them on the board.
One more.
Now, once they go on the board, it's over. It's church. It's done.
Yeah, it's
Steelers
done.
on the board. Done.
Yeah.
Done. NFL may go up there. Just
the whole NFL?
Norfolk.
Just done.
Not for long, as they say. Not again. All right,
no fun league.
Yeah. 11 o'clock, check ESPN. The flagship, that can't be right. It's got to be you. Or maybe Plus. They're not on ESPN.
There's no way Toledo UMass is on the flagship.
Yeah. All right, I'll look and I'll make it right for it when I get done at the end of this. Toledo's covered this number the last 2 years. Toledo's too fundamentally sound on both sides of football. They owe me from earlier this year. UMass comes off a terrible loss to Arkansas State, 52-28. They got beat. You mean to tell me Toledo can't beat them worse than Arkansas State did? Give me the Rockets in a blowout. This thing may get ugly early. Which the guy that's, I think it's Don Brown, the former defense coordinator at Michigan. You know, I took UMass earlier.
Yeah,
he will have that program decent. Sooner than later. It's just he don't have the horses right now.
Now ain't the time.
He ain't got the horses.
All right, we'll move on to my next play, and I guess they have a soft spot in my heart. I just keep kind of going back to them. But I really do like what Lance Leopold's doing with the Kansas Jayhawks, and they are hosting the Knights, Central Florida, this weekend at 3 o'clock. I don't know what station they're going to be on, but 3 o'clock Central Florida visits Kansas Jayhawks. I know Daniels probably won't play, but that backup quarterback Bean's pretty good. They kind of played with Texas for a little while. We all saw how that game ended up. But look, Central Florida had a horrible loss to Baylor last week, being up 20, 23 points going into the fourth quarter. They lose that game. It's a heartbreaking loss. Now you got to travel on the road to go take on the Jayhawks, who are pretty good at home. There's no good win on that schedule for Central Florida. They're also playing a backup quarterback, which I think he's been pretty decent. UCS already 0-2 in the Big 12. I don't think they're ready for the Big 12 right now. I just think the Jayhawks are an all-around better team than the Knights. I think they get this done. So you probably want to bet this money line, but I'll take Kansas +2 to get this thing done against the Knights.
Get that 2-point cushion.
Yeah, I know you're so over 2 points, really, but look, I just think Kansas wins it.
It's pretty ridiculous that they would give any line out of Vegas that wasn't 3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
If they're going under 3, now they're just being assholes. I mean, they
Right.
are.
Give me
I
the
mean,
3 points.
What do they
Come on.
know?
Yeah.
How do you know there's going to be an under 3?
Yeah.
How do you know it's going to be a 2-point game? Get out of here with that.
And Daniels, he's going to try to warm up, and if the back is feeling good Saturday and he plays, I love the Jayhawks. So I'm hoping he can play, but if not, we'll hope Bean gets it done against the Knights on Saturday.
Get the good number earlier. My next play, you good?
Yeah, go ahead.
South Florida.
Oh, boy.
-3.5 at UAB, 3 o'clock on ESPN 2.
Oh, ESPN 2. How did they rank ESPN 2?
I don't know.
The
Toledo,
Bulls and the Blazers.
Toledo UMass is on ESPNU, by the way, not on the flagship. So, since playing Alabama a few weeks ago, the South Florida Bulls have found something, especially on the offense side of football. Alex Galesh, he came from Tennessee, which they like to send it deep. So they've got something working here. They found their stride. The Bulls are 27th in scoring offense. UAB.
Okay.
I think UAB is 116th in scoring defense. So it's too much firepower. South Florida is going to probably win this thing big. UAB's coach,
he got to apologize for ripping on one of his assistants.
he
this
pulled
weekend.
a whole Saban over there, and he's not Saban. You can't do that. You got to go win some natties.
Well, that's why he had to come out and apologize publicly for it.
Jackwagon. What is his name?
Trent Dilfer.
Dilfer. Didn't he win a Super Bowl?
He did he didn't win the Super Bowl. Ray Lewis and that defense won a Super Bowl for Trent Dilfer. Get out of here.
Yeah. So look for South Florida to go out there and attack this thing over the top. This defense over the top. Put a bunch of points up. I don't think UAB can score as much as South Florida can. And I'll go ahead and say I was wrong about South Florida.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
What
I
were
didn't
you
like
wrong
them at
about?
all. I thought they were going to be one of the top or bottom 5 teams in the country this year,
Yeah,
but they're not.
but they're not.
And I'm going to bet on them.
All right.
Watch and see.
I like it. All right, my favorite play of the weekend, Paul.
Do it.
This team is really I think they're going to win that. The only team that can beat Fresno State in that conference that they're in, I can't think what it is. I don't know if it's the Mountain West or something like that, is the Air Force Falcons.
It's the WAC.
So I can't wait. Oh, maybe it's the WAC, the MAC, the MEAC.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, the Fresno State Bulldogs have been really putting it together on both sides of the ball. They're 15th in scoring offense, and they're 7th in third down conversion rate in the country. And this is just a bad matchup for Wyoming, as Fresno State can stop the run, and Wyoming wants to run it. Now, Wyoming is very well coached, and they're tough to play. Is that Laramie?
Yeah, Laramie.
So Fresno State's headed to Laramie, but I think outside of Air Force, they're the best team in that. What's that conference? Oh, I thought you were looking that up.
No. I think, yeah.
So, I mean, if Fresno was at home, if Wyoming was traveling to Fresno, this line is probably 10 or 11. The only reason that it's 5.5, well, actually, I think it's 6 now. 6 is because it's in Laramie and Wyoming is decent there. But I just think they're no match for the Bulldogs here. I think the Bulldogs will be able to stop the run all night long, and their offense is really, really good. I see this as a big, big win for Fresno State. I think they cover easily up in Laramie.
Yeah, Craig Bowles is the coach at Wyoming. He coached at Nebraska. The only reason I remember that name, he was an assistant coach at Nebraska.
And if you look, I mean, they have a less than average offense, Wyoming does.
No, they have a less than average everything.
And a bad defense.
Yeah, but then they still hang around games. So.
And Fresno has a top 20 defense, and nearly every stat is top 20. And then they have the number 15 offense and number 7 third down rate. So they don't get that. Wyoming will not be able to get them off the field.
Yeah, Franklin didn't give you this pick. I was going to, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that's the 5-star play of the week for us right there. Is Fresno State -6.
I like it. I'm still trying to figure out what that conference is. It's got to be Mountain West. I don't know why.
I think it's the Mountain West.
It's got to be.
You go ahead. What's your next pick?
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Da, da, da,
Da, da, da.
I'm trying to educate and entertain as the people on the
You want me
TV
to
say.
sing some kind of fight song or something?
God, I wish you wouldn't. Boston College at Army, under 50.5 on CBS Sports at 11 o'clock. Kick. Expecting drizzling rain at Nittany Field, which is at Army, by the way. Boston College's first true road game of the year. Cold rain versus triple option. Both teams will just want to get off the field at this point. Nobody likes playing the freaking rain.
No.
Look for a field goal contest. I don't think this thing gets close to 50.5, but, they'll just take my money. So give me under 50.5 Boston College at Army.
All right. My last pick. I'm going to ride with the TCU Horned Frogs. And again, like Paul mentioned earlier, Syracuse has got this is the last chance for Syracuse. This is the last chance for TCU. I took them earlier in the year, and Colorado beat them straight up as a 20-point dog. We all know how that whole thing's gone. Anyway, TCU's turned that thing around on defense. They've been much better. I know they just come off a loss to West Virginia, but West Virginia's been playing great. I think Neil Brown has saved his job there with the Mountaineers. TCU's 15th in red zone defense, and Iowa State is 125th in red zone offense. So TCU's going to stop them. They're not going. If anything, they'll be kicking field goals all night. We know what that TC offense can do. It's still been doing it all year. Just think it's too much defense, too much. Obviously, I mean that's what you see in any game. But Iowa State's offense is terrible. They've been bad all year, and of course they still got dudes out from the whole gambling fiasco. So I think TCU bounces back big from their upset with West Virginia, and they beat the hell out of Iowa State Cyclones. TCU -6.5.
Like it. Iowa State, I don't know. That guy that coaches that team, he was the next guy at any country. He could have named
Campbell, I believe is his name.
He could have named his job, and he stayed there, and it has not gone well since then.
All right, give out your last play, Paul.
Oh, sorry. -20.5. University of Miami Hurricanes host the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. My bad. All right. On ACC Network at 7 o'clock. Tech comes off a loss against Bowling Green, which is a terrible loss. We're Ole Miss fans. We played them earlier this year. We covered that line. They've got some talent, but it's just not enough. Miami's only given up double digits on defense one time this year. It was a Texas A&M team that's really, really talented on offense and defense. So they should be able to shut this Tech offense down, and they can pretty much name their score here. Should be no sweat, but when we put them out, they're not any of them are supposed to be no sweat. So we'll go. Give me the Miami Hurricanes -20.5 hosting the Georgia Tech. Can I call them the Bumblebees?
You call them whatever you want.
Yellow Jackets.
But that's a horrible loss they had against Bowling Green.
It's bad.
My goodness, that was terrible. I thought they were better than that.
That's bad. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know. There's talent. There's not enough talent. I think it's Jeff Calkins is coaching them.
No. Jeff Collins was the coach.
Oh, not Calkins. Calkins is the guy in Memphis.
From Memphis, the radio guy.
Well, that may be who is coaching them.
No, they changed coaches. Collins was out, and they brought in somebody else. I don't know who the head coach is now.
Damn it. Anyways, Miami -20.5. Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. This thing should be over with by halftime.
Yeah, I'm with you there because I think Miami can put up their number. They can score as many as they want, and they've got a good defense.
Yep.
I mean, Georgia Tech's been better on offense this year, but that loss to Bowling Green really sticks in your craw right there. I don't know how you bounce back from that. So, yeah, I think Miami's a good play there to win big. All right, so you see the picks on the board, and so we're trying something different every week on the charity play. So we're going to take 2 of my picks and 2 of Paul's picks and throw them in a little parlay there. So we're going to take Fresno State -6, TCU -6.5, South Florida -3.5, Washington State UCLA over 59. Put that in a little 14 parlay and see what we come up with. See if we can't finally hit something.
Yeah, should get us 12-1 or 16-1. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, it'll be up there. Hopefully that'll
Get us rolling.
get us
We
rolling.
just need to hit one. We got to see one go in.
We got to see one go in, and we have not. We're just jacking them up from everywhere, and nothing's going in right now. So what's the NFL slate like this weekend? I know the big game Sunday night between the Cowboys and the 49ers. That ought to be a good one. We all know where my head will be for that matchup. But what do we got going on here?
Steelers will play.
Who are they going to play ball?
AFC North match up against the Ravens. I mean, they got a shot at this thing. If they're 1-0 in the division.
Yeah.
They beat. God, I don't know how they're going to do it, but if they can beat Baltimore, I don't know why they got that guy still around. I hate it. I just showed you how good a coach Tomlin is. But if Tomlin's going to die on this sword, that he's the guy that he wants to lead that offense, I never thought I'd say it, but he's never had a losing season. But he can go do that elsewhere.
Yeah.
This is not a fun brand of football. Getting your ass beat to the Houston Texans is not what I signed up for.
You did not
40
sign up
years
for that.
ago.
With a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach.
And blaming it on the players. I've never seen that shit before.
Maybe he's just getting tired of it.
They got
You
to
think
play
he's just
better.
been there too long?
I don't know what his problem is. They got to play better. We got to get outta
I'm
here.
confused by the whole thing, and I'm not really a fan, but it confuses me, Paul. I don't
Najee
understand.
Harris, we got to play better. Where you going to run, Najee?
No, he's going to run that little stupid outside zone that doesn't work with the dam. He's going to have to try to hurdle people and do it on his own, and then you got Kenny Pickett hurt. Is he out? I mean, he's out for some weeks, isn't he?
No, he practiced this week, which it don't matter. Mickey Mouse ass offense they run. Who gives a shit? Maybe we can beat them 10-7 or 7. I don't. Who cares? I'm sorry I even brought the damn thing up.
All right, here's a Jacksonville stayed over across the pond, and I say host. They're they're not who cares?
They're not.
It's in Europe. I mean, it doesn't matter. So explain this line to me. Buffalo Bills only -5.5 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville beat a horrible team in whoever they played last week across the pond.
I got nothing. They got it 29-18 on sports line.
Yeah,
Buffalo.
I don't understand just the 5.5. It's because
watch
things get weird over there. The Toy Story deal.
Yeah, did you watch the Toy Story thing?
Look, NFL has caught on to something here. I saw so many tweets and Facebook live. All the kids are getting into it. So all these dads who love football, they turned on the Toy Story thing, and it was very well done. And as bad as I hate to say this, I think it was Booger, right, on the call.
Yeah,
he did pretty good, honestly.
Get out of here!
I'm telling you, it wasn't bad. They were able to explain it in terms anybody could understand, and all the different things they did. I tell you, the best thing I saw. I will tell you this. So Calvin Ridley, just wonderful. Anytime, I guess you've seen Toy Story, right? I mean, you get the whole premise. I mean, the toys come alive, that kind of thing. But anyway, so every time Andy, the kid, the boy who had all these toys, every time he walked in the room, of course, the toys went limp, right? They went back to their, motionless state. Well, Calvin really scores the touchdown, and he gets to the back of the end zone, and he just falls limp on the ground. And somebody tweeted that out, and it was like, after you score, that point of view, after you score a touchdown, and then Andy enters the room. It was just great. I thought it was well done. I think the NFL, they should, they used to do that Nickelodeon thing for the Super Bowl. Yeah. I think if they can, depending on what the rights are, I think they should do the Toy Story thing for the Super Bowl.
There was a lot of things, like the little grabber thing, setting the ball on kickoffs.
Yeah, I mean the spring done dog, doing
yeah, doing the first
doing the
down,
chain,
the chain.
the chain gang. I
Yeah.
mean, it was just great. I thought it was great.
The guy scores the touchdown, and they put a little fire trail behind him as he's running. That was pretty good. I mean, it's better than Taylor Swift's in the stadium.
Oh,
Man, get out of here with that
Talk
shit.
to your boy Josh about Taylor Swift. Just see
is
see how he's feeling
Is he
about it.
is he a Swiftie?
No, he is.
He's had it.
As soon as it came on the other night, he's like, "Oh my, I'm so sick of her." I'm like, "Well, it's not her fault." I mean,
Nah, man. If I was dating Taylor Swift, I want everybody to know too.
hell yeah, I get it.
Apparently, I just took Western Kentucky -6. By the way, while we were talking.
Did you just right now? You just took them.
Yeah, I got on them.
Houston and Atlanta square off in Atlanta. That game is Atlanta -1.5. Can Atlanta beat him? I don't. I think Houston's the better team there. Detroit is a 10-point favorite against Carolina. I love the Lions, but I'm not laying 10. I'm not laying double digits.
Man,
It's just, that's tough.
I'm still-
Unless I tell you what, Miami at home -12 against the Giants. Boy, the Giants. Whew. That is a tough watch there.
A lot of guys I know are in these elimination leagues or whatever you call them, survivor leagues.
They're taking anybody that's playing the Giants.
They are riding that coattail, baby. So, which I haven't seen nothing from the Giants that says they're going out there and play better. I just don't. I don't know. I would love to cap the NFL with. When you get these stupid ass lines, anything under 3.
I'll tell
plus
you.
2.5, -1.5.
I'll tell you
minus
one.
a half.
All right.
Fuck off.
Now I'll tell you one that's not a bad one. The Cincinnati Bengals take on the Arizona Cardinals. I know the Arizona's supposed to be terrible this year. They're not bad. Joshua Dobbs is actually, and James Conner is running with a passion. I mean, he is trying
terrible.
and Joe Burrow is still hurt. Arizona's catching 3 points at home. That's one to really look at right there. Arizona +3, maybe Arizona straight up.
Yeah, they got it 24-23, which don't mean nothing. But see, here's another dumbass shit. So I'm sorry, New Orleans at New England. The spread is +0.5.
Plus, yeah, because they're both bad teams.
Projected score 21-21. You mean you're gonna project a fucking tie?
A tie. Yeah, you can't. They can't tie. Oh, no, I take that back.
No,
They
they
can.
can
They
tie.
can tie. They can tie.
What are you telling me? I need to go find the prop bet that says game ends in tie.
Yeah, game
at plus $1 billion.
and
put
a whole
$20
lot, plus
put,
a lot.
Put $20 on it. And maybe I should. Maybe I'm looking at this all wrong. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
Anyways.
Well, they like 49ers to cover the spread, 25-18, but that's just their computer.
No, I don't. Those
Simulations
numbers don't
bullshit.
mean nothing.
No. That game, both teams hate each other. I mean, it's a mutual hate between both fan bases, both cities. I mean but coming from the 90s when they all squared off with Aikman and Young and Irvin and Rice and all the boys. God, they put it to us a couple of times. We put it to them. It's just been back and forth, and it's tickled me pink that we've put them out of the playoffs the last 2 years. And my mom's probably going to love that I just said that. She's a big Cowboys fan. But sorry, Mom. Hey, you could have hung with me for all these years, and then you moved to Texas. All of a sudden, you want to be a Cowboys fan. What's that about? Make no sense.
Be talking about your mama on the TV.
I do love you, though. I do love you, Mom. Absolutely. I didn't see much else in the NFL. Yeah, you could go bet, but it's just so hard to find the right angle on these games. Unless you want to take Washington -6. That's tonight, though, right? That game's tonight.
No way in hell I bet that game.
Chicago is awful, man. What are they doing with Justin Fields? And some people say just Justin Fields needs a better coordinator. He needs to be at another team. You buy that shit, Paul?
Justin Fields? No,
Yeah.
No, hell,
You buy that shit?
I know a guy that'll go coach him. We'll try right now. We'll swap whatever they want for it. What do y'all want?
We'll send you our coordinator. See if that helps, Justin Fields.
We're good at trade. We'll get Claypool back and we'll retrade him. How about that?
I'll just mention the rookie QBs this year. You got C.J. Stroud in Houston, Bryce Young in Carolina, Anthony Richardson And maybe I'm going to be proven wrong. Anthony Richardson's actually not been bad, but man, they're running him so much. He's going to get so
He's
banged
not going to
up.
make it long. I got C.J. Stroud starting in my fantasy lineup this
CJ
week.
Stroud has been really, really good. Bryce Young's not ready. I think he's going to be an okay quarterback, but he's not ready yet. I mean, you can see it. He's just not ready on the field to take that role. So anyway, I don't know. Philly against the Rams at LA. That line's only 4.5. That may be one to look at.
Nah, you're beating a dead horse. You want me to predict the NFL football game?
I'm trying to get you to give me anything. You won't give me nothing.
I predict that whoever's betting on this is going to get poor for their effort and betting on the NFL is all I know.
Just a shout out to our boys in New Jersey. You know, Jerry and Bill, they still watch us. You know, big fans, Paul. We got to give them.
Yeah, I met them two guys.
Yep. So that's right. The Stone Pony. You did meet them. That's right. Jerry, Bill, we had a great time in Oxford. That was a Georgia Tech game, I believe. Stayed at the spot, had some Fireball. Good, a lot of good times. A lot of good times were had.
Don't
that
tell
night.
everything you know.
Yeah, so your Eagles take on the Rams, but watch out. Better have that defense playing well. Matthew Stafford and the boys are playing pretty well. Puka Nakua, talking about rookies. That kid is doing it.
They got a Puku and a tutu.
And a tutu. Yeah, they got a Puka and a tutu.
Out there kicking people's asses with Puku and tutu. Hell out of here.
Yeah, that rookie wide receiver of the Rams has been great. I mean, he just keeps putting up all the yardage. He got his first touchdown last week. Matthew Stafford's he got a little banged up last game, so that could be something to watch. Aaron Donald still is an absolute man on the defense. The Eagles probably get that thing done, but good luck to our boys in Jersey with their Eagles taking on the LA Rams Saturday at 3:05. All right, I guess that'll wrap us up. Again, you see our picks on the screen. Paul's got Syracuse +8, Washington State over 59, Toledo -19, South Florida -3.5, BC Army under 50.5, Miami -20.5. Again, I'm going to make this clear. I got Kentucky +14.5. I do not have Old Dominion +1.5. I got the Old Dominion Southern Miss game over 58. Washington State +3.5, Kansas +2, Fresno State -6, TCU -6.5. Going to try to get that charity parlay home. Our charity play, it's a 4-team parlay. You see it, Fresno State -6, TCU -6.5, South Florida -3.5, Washington State, UCLA over 59. So we haven't been bad, 31, 25, and 2 on the year, Paul. That puts us, we're getting close to.
Not bad for a couple of necks from Mississippi.
That's right. I mean, we're still up. And we had some.
We just got to get it together. That's all.
We just got to do it on the same weekend, right?
We're off. Just a smidge. We'll get it.
Yeah, we'll get it going. Anyway, thanks for joining us for another edition of Cash and Tickets. Let's all put those bets in, and Sunday morning go cash some tickets. Good luck to everybody. Glad you joined us. For Franklin, this is Paul. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.